Do you or have you been told any information about the direction of a Bellator women's featherweight title?
No, I have no idea, and I hope one day they ask me to fight for it. But to be honest, I'm focusing on this fight. I'm not going to underestimate my opponent. I did that the last time, and I lost, and it was a big lesson to me. So I have a world champion on my hands, and I'm really focused. I want to redeem myself, and I want to show in the cage that I'm still a great fighter after 16 years in the fighting industry.
You talked about how long you've been at it. How much longer do you see yourself fighting? Because like you said, I think 2000 was your first fight.
Oh wow, you know that? Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
no, yeah, that was my first professional fight. Prior to that, I had some amateur fights.
How long did you fight as an amateur before you went pro?
I was 18 when I had my first judo fight, and prior to that I did grappling and all. And when I was 19, I was invited to fight in Japan, and it was actually my first professional fight.
Wow. So how much longer do you see yourself going at the sport? Is there any end in sight?
Well, when I'm 40, I will not be fighting anymore. So I will take it one fight at a time. And you know, I don't want to look past this fight because she's an amazing fighter. I know that. She looks very strong to me, and she's amazing on the ground. And I don't know what she brings in her stand-up and grappling. Having said that, I'm also eyeing the Bellator belt, of course. But those two fights are in my mind, and after that, then I'll see what happens. But first, this fight, I mean, my horizon is really big.
You fought in a number of different weight divisions. What is the main difference fighting at 145 as opposed to 135?
135 was hell. It was really hell. You know, making the weight is one thing, but to recover from that and be able to fight 5 times 5 minutes in a cage, that wasn't a lot of fun. And when I'm fighting at 145, I feel very strong and empowered, and my mind is good. And it's really hard to explain, but it's such a world of difference. If I look at Cyborg, for instance, like, I don't know how she makes the 140 at all, you know. When I heard she was attempting to go to 140, I was really afraid something would happen with her. And to put in words, it's hard to tell. But to me, the biggest thing is having energy or having no energy at all.
So I'm guessing you plan on staying at 145 for the rest of your career?
Very good guess.
Also,
no,
Bellator.
Go back to 145.
Bellator has the Bellator Kickboxing promotion as well. Is that something you're interested in doing in the future?
Yeah. I'm open to do anything, but actually, I'm even more open to fight for a title. And to be able to fight for a title, I have to win this fight. So really, my horizon is on November 4th, and actually on nothing else after that.
Now, I spoke to Scott Coker a little bit yesterday on the media call, and Phil Davis told me that Scott Coker was really instrumental in him coming to Bellator. I know that you worked with Scott for a long time in Strikeforce. Was that the case with you as well? Because I noticed that you didn't come to Bellator until Coker was around.
Yeah, well, that's exactly the case. I mean, when I was fighting for Strikeforce, I just said it to someone else as well. Like, I was talking to Josh Thompson one day, and he said when they started Strikeforce, Scott asked him to fight for him, and Scott said to him, like, I don't care if you win or lose. I want you to give good fights, fight your heart out. And I know Scott is a sensei, a trainer, has been a trainer himself, so he understands the game. He respects the fighters. And he has this Japanese mindset, you know, like now what a lot of fighters, they pick their opponent because they afraid of flaws in their record. But Scott understands fighting. And that to me was very instrumental to sign. And Strikeforce was bought by the UFC because Strikeforce was beating the UFC in the heavyweight division with the ratings. So know what he's capable of, and those two factors were for me was like a no-brainer.
Well, I know that you're not looking past your opponent now, but in the future, would a rematch with Alexis Dufresne be something that you're interested in?
Yeah, I already said that. They asked me if I wanted to fight her, and I said yes, and then Alexis said no because she only wanted to fight for the title. So no, I'm certainly open for that.
Didn't she? Well, she didn't come in on weight, did she? Did she miss
No,
weight for that fight?
No, she was 7 pounds. Actually, she missed weight 3 times in a row with 7 pounds this time, or even more. I don't know exactly anymore. Yeah, and she was very disrespectful towards my trainer and all. I was, it was a big part, and it was really dumb on my side. So I take it, it was all my own fault. I was so aggressive. I was so mad at her. The only thing I wanted to do was to bring her in agony. I was like, I will pay you this back. And then I also underestimated her. And then when I was in the guard with her, and I heard like, oh, and I thought they said 10 seconds, but actually they said 30 seconds. And I got mad with myself for like, am I really taking this fight to the second round? And when I thought that, she made a beautiful transition. She was really good at that. And my arms had snapped. I mean, it really hurt for a long time. So all props to her for doing that amazing transition, but I don't think she respects the game, the fans, Bellator, whoever.
Like I mentioned, you fought in Strikeforce, and that was run by Scott Coker. Now you're in Bellator. How would you compare the two, how they're run, how they feel like when you go there and fight? Are they similar in any way? Have you noticed any improvements over Strikeforce, anything of that nature?
Well, thank God Carrie is still there, so I'm very happy with that. And but the vibe is still the same. It's like the family friendly vibe, so that's very nice to notice. Back in the Strikeforce days, I can remember that I was sometimes waiting for a van, and then I had to do a training demo for whatever, and then we were kind of like, hey, the van isn't coming, and I was like, oh no, you can stay there, it doesn't matter, you don't have to do it, like that. That's completely changed. So it's very professional, and but I mean, this is not that Strikeforce wasn't professional, but I do see like it's now a bigger company and it's run more strict and tight. And but to me, the most important is that the friendly atmosphere, the welcoming. It's really nice to fight for Bellator.
Your opponent, Nogueira, her record is a little deceptive because you see 6-0 and you would think that she's rather new to the game, but she's not. She's been fighting in MMA for over 7 years, but she's taken a few years off. Do you think that your experience or that layoff from MMA fights will play to your advantage?
Well, I think my experience. But the thing is, I have no idea how she has progressed. So I don't know how good her striking or how her grappling is right now. So yeah, it's very hard for me to see, and for her it's very easy because she can find all my fights online. So she has an advantage there. But on the other hand, she can be ring rusty. But we really have to wait and see what happens on November 4th. I'm ready. I'm so motivated after this loss. I really want to redeem myself and show people, that I'm still top level, and in order to do that, I have to make her tap or knock her out. I don't want to win on points. I never want to win on points, but this time I certainly don't want to win on points. So I'm really, really excited, and I can't wait to leave to the States.
Who was the last opponent that you had to prepare for like that? Because I mean, Alexis fought in the UFC. Arlene fought in Bellator. I'm trying to remember. I don't think Annalisa had, but I mean, this has to be a unique situation for you. I mean, I'm sure it happened a lot in your early career when online wasn't such a resource. But when's the last time you really had to prepare like this against somebody you don't know a lot about?
Actually, Annalisa, I couldn't find a lot of either, and Arlene, a fight I couldn't find online, so I had no clue what to expect. And I knew she had won, but I had no idea how she had won, you know. So no, it was exactly the same. And with Alexis, I saw her fights on 135 also in UC, but they were also old fights. So for me, it's always just guessing, and I admit that's annoying. It's really annoying. But on the other hand, it's also good because if you know too much of your opponent, you can think too much of it. And I believe that you should always focus on your own strength. So, you know, it's like, it's a neutral thing. You can really be like, oh, can I find anything? But you can also be like, no, I'm focusing on myself.
Well, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join me, and best of luck.
Oh, thank you too, Sean. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.